Professor Arvind said that the technology is a tool to supplement the process of learning and teaching, but the presence of teacher is must for developing a clear vision and enlightened future citizens. The presidential remarks were given by Professor R.G. Kothari, the former Vice Chancellor, VNSG University, Surat, Gujarat. In his presidential address, Dr. Kothari said that the aim of teaching should be to develop critical thinking, life solving skills, problem solving skills, and a good communication skills to prepare teachers to work as a team. He said that the role of a good teacher is to prepare the thinking human beings and future leaders. On the first day, the keynote address was given by Professor Jayashri Shinde, Head Department of Educational Technology, Director TLC, SNDT Women University, Mumbai. She said that we as teachers need to strike a balance between technological advancements and the knowledge of a teacher. It was followed by a technical session, and the resource person was Dr. Prateek Bhatia, Associate Professor from Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology, Patiala. He demonstrated the importance of flipped learning and beautifully explained the concept of flipped learning, its uses in teaching learning process. Today, we are lucky to have two very experienced personalities among us. The first name is a very famous name in the field of educational technology, that is Professor Sunil Dutt. And sir has a vast experience in the field of educational technology. Having a science background and PhD in education from Punjab University, Chandigarh, sir is working as professor in Department of Education and Educational Management in NETR. So sir has done a wonderful work in the field of educational technology. The research areas of Professor Sunil Dutt include educational technology, curriculum development, education and educational management, and other ICT based research areas. So the above said areas are well depicted in the many publication of Professor Sunil Dutt in different reputed journals and the conference proceedings. I hope all the participants will be very happy and they will enjoy the session of Professor Sunil Dutt on blended learning. So before the start of the session, I would like to request Dr. Sanjay Kumar, Dean Research, for the formal welcome address. Over to Professor Sanjay Kumar ji.
Thank you, Dr. Pargat Singh Garcha. Thanks. Respected worthy principal Dr. Khushvinder Kumar, our guest of the day, our speaker Professor Sunil Dutt, Head Department of Educational Management, NETR, Chandigarh, Professor M. Bhandarkar, President CTEF, Dr. Garcha, my fellow colleagues and all the participants. Good afternoon to all of you. On this second day of capacity building program, which is organized by the IQAC Internal Quality Assurance Cell of the Modi College in collaboration with CTEF, the Council for Teachers Education Foundation, it's my great pleasure to welcome all of you here on this second day of the capacity building program on the integration of technology with pedagogy for the teaching learning process. So today we have a very renowned and learned fellow with us, Professor Sunil Dutt. So Professor Sunil Dutt, I hope all the participants will feel blessed with your views on the blended and flipped learning. So I hereby, on behalf of our worthy principal, college management, faculty, Internal Quality Assurance Cell, I extend my heartfelt welcome to Professor Sunil Dutt and all present here. So I hereby request all the participants we should listen to Professor Dutt because he has very extensive experience, as Dr. Garcha said. He has done a lot of work in the education, in the field of educational technology. So we must listen to him and we should get benefited with his experiences. And we can, if we can incorporate even a few things from his views or from his experiences, I hope it will create wonders for all of us. So once again, I extend my welcome to Professor Sunil Dutt on this second day of this capacity building program. So Professor Sunil Dutt, welcome to the Modi College and this program of capacity building program. Thank you. So over to Dr. Pargat Singh.
Thank you, Dr. Sanjay Kumar ji. I am very happy to see our national president, Professor K.M. Pandarkar ji on screen. Welcome to you, sir, in this 7 days FDP, and we will be happy to listen so many wonderful things and experienced words from you in the presidential remarks. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
So
sir.
now I request Professor Sunil Dutt ji for the technical session. Professor Sunil Dutt ji, please. Over to Professor Sunil ji.
Thank you very much. So at the very outset, I extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Kushwinder Kumar, who is a very good friend of mine, for giving me an opportunity to interact with the participating teachers on a very important theme, that is blended learning and flipped classroom. Since I was told that more emphasis was given by some speaker yesterday on flipped classroom, so I will not give much emphasis on it. I will focus my session on blended learning, and I'll give some passing remarks on flipped classroom. So
Thank you very much, Professor Sunil Dutt, for amending at the last moment. Kushwinder here. Thank you, ji.
So now I'll share my PPT. Is it visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So friends, all of us have been employing mainly the lecture mode of imparting instruction in the classroom, and instructional method, lecture as an instruction method, has been criticized at various forums because lectures mainly involve one-way communication where the teacher is teaching at the group, and you see every day thousands of teachers deliver the exact same lesson in class to millions of students, and every night millions of students sit over the exact same homework trying to figure out how to solve it. And as you know that lecture has got certain limitation. It cannot help the students develop higher thinking skills. It is only that you can pass on the information to the student because it is mainly one-way communication. And friends, as you all know that we are living in a time when things are moving fast, the rules of the game are changing, science is changing, technology is changing, and even the world of work has also changed. But our students are, for the most part, still constrained by traditional transmission models of learning. So the lecture mode is mainly one-way, involves one-way communication where teacher is delivering instruction by usually talking at the students. So since the students sit as passive learner, there are chances that they might involved in daydreaming. So on few occasions, the teacher asks few questions to only one or two students, and the teacher is not able to motivate all the students in the classroom. And as you know that today's students grew up with internet access, YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, and a number of other digital resources. They can typically be found doing their homework while texting their friends, hymning on Facebook, and listening to music all at the same time.
Excuse me, Professor Sunil ji, is it possible to put on your video, please?
because it may stop somewhere because bandwidth is very low.
Okay, sir. Okay, no problem. No issue, sir. Please go ahead, please.
So the use of the other, the use of the traditional learning approach, which focuses on the teacher as the center of knowledge, is irrelevant in today's digital age. So as a solution, traditional classroom activities like lectures, laboratories, homework, and exams can be moved to the Web 2.0 technology, and students can study everywhere outside the classroom. And this is the flipped classroom model of blended learning. So, friends, in this, I'm focusing on blended learning, where the classroom learning is blended with online learning. And friends, let me also share with you the recommendation of UGC panel. UGC panel has suggested that learning in higher education institution is set for a paradigm shift if the proposal on blended learning, which proposes up to 40% of teaching in any course through the online mode. So the concept note you see has been prepared in accordance with the new education policy 2020, which gives acceptability to many modes of learning, including face-to-face, online, and distant or virtual mode. So UGC had decided that higher education institution should be allowed to teach up to 40% of each course through online mode, and the remaining 60% can be taught in offline mode. And exams for teaching under both modes can be conducted online. So the UGC draft has said that the advantages of blended learning for students include increased learning skill, greater access to information, improved satisfaction and learning outcomes, and opportunities both to learn with others and to teach others. So blended learning is not simply a mix of online and face-to-face mode, but it is a well-planned combination of meaningful activities in both the modes. So the blend demands consideration of number of factors, mainly focusing on learning outcomes and the learner-centered instructional environment. So let me share with you, you see one survey by Kaiser Family Foundation. That survey, you see, says that this was conducted on 8 to 18 years old students, and the survey has given very astonishing figures that about 6 hours 21 minutes the students spend with media per day, and 26% of the time they use more than 2 media simultaneously. 3.51 hours they spend on TV or video, 1 hour 44 minutes on music per day, 1 hour using computer other than for school work, 49 minutes playing video games, 43 minutes of, you see, recreational reading. So it means our students are quite, you can say, tech savvy, isn't it? So they are highly devised, they are highly networked, they are highly interactive, they are highly, you see, social. And for the students, the computer is not only the technology, they indulge in multitasking, and reality is more and more a, you see, meaningless term. Let me show you the learning pyramid. We usually tend to understand only 10% of what we read, because when we are reading a book, there are some difficult words, or some books do not contain good illustrations or meaningful examples. So only 10% of that can be retained. 20% of what we hear, you see, in a classroom, the teacher is talking to the students and students are simply hearing. They are not listening, because listening involves understanding. Listening is an active process. So because teacher is simply pouring the information into the mind of the students, he is not involving the student participation. So that is why we say that 20% of what we hear, that is comprehended, and we tend to comprehend 30% of, you see, what we see. Say the teacher has integrated some video, not videos, the teacher has integrated some chart, picture, diagram, or he has drawn some illustration on the chalkboard. So pictures, exhibit, etc. And 50% of what we both hear and see, that is if the teacher gives a demonstration in the classroom, and or they are seeing some you see working on a particular location, and 70% of what we say, that is when they are involved, then they are participating in a discussion or giving a talk or doing a dramatic presentation. And friends, 90% of what we both say and do. And let me share you the first model of learning, that is classroom learning, which is mainly the traditional teaching chalk and talk method, where the teacher and students, they are looking at each other face to face. So teacher is talking to the students. The lecture can be given to a small group, it can be given to a large group. Now another model is e-learning, that is learning using computer technology, that is online tutorials, simulations, games, online testing, audience response system, digital learning environment. So you have developed some e-content, you have uploaded on the website of your institution, or you have recorded a video presentation of your own lecture by using simply your own mobile camera, or number of videos are available on YouTube. As a teacher, you have to identify the appropriate video, and you will be sharing the web links of those videos with the students, so they can study at their own, you see, convenience. So e-learning helps the student to learn something at their own pace, because in a traditional classroom teaching, the teacher sometimes speaks at a very high rate, and there are variety of students sitting in the classroom. Some are slow learners who could not, you see, cope with the rate at which the teacher is delivering the lecture. So in this case, e-learning, the student can read the material again and again because it is available online, or he or she can watch the video again and again. So it is the online presence, not in the class. Then mobile learning, using mobile devices, laptops, smartphones, iPad, and friends, in this case, focus is mainly on, you see, synchronous or asynchronous communication. Mobile learning. So blended learning, you see, it is a combination of face-to-face learning, e-learning, and mobile learning. There are different delivery formats, different forms of communication, and didactic models. So now the question is e-learning better than face-to-face? I think both are equally effective as far as imparting knowledge, skills, and behavior is concerned. But it will be more effective if we employ blended mode. That is, part of the lecture is, you see, is given to the student. They study themselves. Okay, they can study anywhere, anytime, and part of the session is, you see, discussed in the classroom. So it will be more effective because there you can involve, you can explain more concepts, you can explain more examples, you can describe the procedures. So blended learning, you see, is the new flower, I would say, which blossoms in the area of learning technology to support teaching learning experiences. As its name implies, it means It is the blend of online resources as well as the traditional resources. So usage of blended learning is growing increasingly in the educational context because different methods significantly help in enhancing academic performance, attainment of learning outcomes, and student satisfaction from the learning experience. Friends, if you have read National Education Policy 2020, you know it that this policy focuses on the digitally equipped classrooms, students, teachers, institutions. And NEP 2020 believed in holistic multidisciplinary approach to bring flexibility in this education system. Basically, it gives importance to technological innovations for enhancing teaching learning experiences and transforming regular classroom based pedagogy. So blended learning is a term increasingly used to describe the way e-learning is being combined with traditional classroom method and independent study to create a new, I would say, hybrid teaching methodology. So in the literature, I have found number of terminologies like blended learning, hybrid learning, technology mediated instruction, web enhanced instruction, web quest instruction, mixed mode learning. So all these are being interchangeably used in the research literature with focus on both the modes of learning, that is online and offline. And Oxford Dictionary has given a very beautiful meaning of the term blended learning. That is, it is a style of education in which students learn via electronic and online media, as well as the traditional face-to-face teaching. So, as the digital and social media, become more and more prevalent in the life of learners, I think it was only a matter of time before learning became blended by, necessity. Blended learning, in fact, is the deliberate fusion of online, both asynchronous and synchronous, and face-to-face contact time between the teacher and the student, or between students in a course, has been promoted and encouraged in an increasing number of higher education institutions. So these were the words by Graham, Goodfield, and Harrison. This is an approach to education that combines online educational material and opportunities for interaction online with traditional place-based classroom method. So as such, it requires the physical presence of both teacher and student, with some elements of student control over time, place, path, or pace. As I said, that you have developed e-content, say self-learning material, or maybe computer-assisted instruction material, and you have uploaded on the website, or you have also developed the video which is available on the website. Now the e-content and the videos can be read or watched by the student at a time in which they are very much comfortable, maybe at home, maybe late at night. Okay, so they can watch the video again and again. They can read the content at their own pace. And if the content, or if the e-content is developed on the principle of self-learning material, that is, the material is presented in small steps, the language is interactive, there are a lot of illustrations in the e-content, and there are certain inbuilt practice task questions followed by feedback, definitely the e-content developed in such a manner will help the student understand many things. And in case they have got some doubts, they can get clarification when they come to the classroom. So in the classroom, this is the you see flipped model of blended learning. That is, the material can be studied by the student at home, and when they come to the class, actual problem solving, or the teacher can provide or supplement more information, give more example. So friends, it is a method of teaching that basically integrates, I would say, technology and digital media with traditional teacher-led classroom activities, giving students more flexibility to customize their, you see, learning experiences. For example, a student might attend classes in a real world classroom setting and then supplement the lesson plan by completing online multimedia coursework. So as such, the student would only have to physically attend class maybe for some time or maybe once in a week, and would be free to go to study at his or her own pace. So you see, while classroom offers an opportunity for role playing with the immediate face-to-face feedback, online learning offers personalized, self-paced, because e-content, which is based upon the important principles of psychology, that is the principle of active responding, principle of a small step, principle of reinforcing reinforcing the student, or principle of providing immediate feedback, or principle of you see moving at his or her own pace. So e-content is a method of providing individualized instruction to the learner, where the learner is active and proceeds at his or her own pace and is provided with immediate knowledge of result. So it is personalized, self-paced, with e-learning or mobile learning components that lend themselves to interactive media like skill building, games, videos, tutorials, quizzes, and some of the social media components. So in general, I would say that blended learning refers to some learning happens online in a format where the student has control over the path and pace and which they engage at which they engage with the content. And some learning happens in a teacher-led classroom, and online and in-person learning is complementary, creating a truly integrated learning environment. And I have found in the literature many studies on blended learning, and these studies have shown that blended learning reduces failure rates, improves learning, boosts engagement, combines the best aspects of face-to-face teaching and online instruction in ways that enable students to learn at their own pace. So blended learning is not simply mixing technology and teaching. It is not a completely, I would say, online course or a lecture course that is broadcast online. And it also doesn't include course changes that simply swap analog tools for digital ones. Whereas in blended learning, the in-person and online elements work together to create a richer learning experience and do not simply duplicate course content in varying formats. Let me, friends, suggest you to carry out a small experiment. You can select one topic from your area of specialization, and for this you have say 50 students in the classroom or 60 students in the classroom. You break that group into 2 subgroups randomly, prepare a quiz on that particular topic, administer the quiz to both the groups. After administering the quiz on the topic to both the groups, now the students will be exposed, students of the first group will be exposed to blended learning. That is wherein you have given the e-content and video, and you have also provided supplementing material in the classroom. And to the other group, you will be teaching that same topic through traditional mode of teaching, that is by lecture mode. And after that, you will again give them the same quiz. So you will have pre-test scores, you have post-test score, you can compare, you can compute, you see T ratio, and you will yourself know that students of which group obtain higher scores. And many research studies available in the net, they have said that blended learning is a very useful method of imparting instruction, because through this method the students retain knowledge for a longer period of time, because they can see many things, they can watch something, and some fun is involved in listening to some video or watching to some video, so like that. And the teacher can give give more information to clarify their doubts. Now blended learning has a number of models. So flipped classroom is one model of blended learning. This is the reverse of, I would say, traditional classroom teaching, because in a traditional classroom, the teacher delivers the lecture, and students listen to the lectures and take tests in class and read textbooks and work on problems set at home. But in flipped teaching, students first study the topic by themselves, typically using e-content or video lesson on YouTube, and then apply the knowledge by solving problems and doing practical work in class. So what is typically presented in class, that is lecture content, background knowledge by a live teacher, this part the students receive at home via reading material, YouTube, video, and other resources. And now the students are prepared with the lecture. Now you will say that how to ensure that all the students have studied the material. Gradually the students will pick up the interest in reading the material themselves, and when they come to the class, they can participate actively in the problem solving exercises given by the teacher. So flipped teaching, it is a form of blended learning in which students learn new content through reading material, or online by watching the video lectures, usually at home. And what used to be homework, that is the problems, assignments or exercises, is now done in class, with the teacher offering more personalized guidance and interaction with students instead of lecturing. So it is also known as I said, backward classroom or reverse instruction, or flipping the classroom, or reverse teaching. So blended learning is not just, I would say, online video. As I said, in case of blended learning, that it is not online course. It is the blended learning is not just reading or learning material. It is not about replacing teacher with video reading learning material. Teacher, you cannot replace teacher by some other media. teacher has to be present to, you see, give additional information, to give number of examples, or to clarify the doubts of the students, or to and to promote interaction with the students. Okay, so it is not, flipped classroom is not an online class, I would say. It is not that students working without structure. It means you have to prepare a lesson plan also for even, you see, for a traditional lecture, you have been preparing a lecture plan. Likewise, you need structured lesson plan. Flipped classroom is not students working in isolation. You see that you will say that the students are to study the material at home, so they are isolated. No, they will come to the classroom where they will participate with other group members. So flipped classroom is not students spending the entire class online. Actually, flipped classroom is a means to increase teacher contact time with the students. Usually you will say that teacher contact time is there. You see, in the classroom, teacher is simply reading out the text from his notes, or he's dictating notes. On many on a few occasions, the teacher asks one or two questions, or he answers the questions raised by the students. Now in this case, flipped classroom, the content part is not to be delivered by the teacher. Rather, the teacher will prepare the e-content or video that is to be given to the student in advance, or maybe they can download from the website of the institution. And you see, the material you have developed, you can use it again and again. So that will, you see, lower the effort, that will decrease the effort of the teacher on delivering the lecture every day. So teacher will, you see, help the students solve the problem in the classroom. So flipped classroom is an environment that increases student responsibility, that they have to study the material at home. They have to carry out number of exercises in the classroom. Blended learning is actually the blend of direct instruction and I would say constructivist learning. It is a class where all students are engaged. Blended learning is a class where even absent students won't fall behind, because material is available to them. So it is a class where all students are engaged, you see, in their own learning. So blended learning tools and resources are available. Some are freely accessible to the teacher: Google Classroom, YouTube, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Skype, Moodle, Blackboard, etc. Okay, let me give you two examples that you see. Flipped classroom or blended learning classroom require students, you see, to review, I would say, lecture material prior to class. So students are doing face-to-face group work in classroom, then going home to analyze that work and turn in a video as an assessment form, taking a course online, then receiving face-to-face tutoring between, you see, online lessons. Blended learning has met the needs of various types of learners. You see, if you look at your classroom, all students are not of same ability level. Even all students cannot learn by just listening to the teacher. Some students learn best when something is told to them. Some students learn best when something is shown to them, that is, some video is played, or some you see, PPT is displayed. Some students learn best when they are involved, when they participate in the interaction. So blended learning has met to a greater extent the learning needs of all types of learners. Now coming to why blended learning. You see, in the past decade, teachers at higher education institutions have, I would say, organically adopted blended learning as a meaningful learning tool in and out of classroom. Okay. Now it is being increasingly used because of last year's pandemic. So this has given, you see, importance to blended learning. So because you see, people or the learners are no single method learners. See, if you employ only lecture mode, many concepts cannot be, you see, built up by using only lecture mode. You have to adopt a demonstration method. Sometimes you have to use problem-based learning method, or sometimes you have to employ some case study approach. That is, you have given a case, the students are asked to study the case and answer the question. So everything cannot be given in a traditional classroom. So this approach will help the teacher make use of various methods of teaching by which the students can learn. So surely blended learning has improved the students' ability to personalize learning, and blended learning has kept learners engaged with the use of variety of content type. See, video, e-content with a lot of animation, e-content if it is in the form of computer assisted instruction, they are very much interested in using. So from passive they have become to active. So it has you see, converted, passive learning has converted to active learning, where students are involved in reading, speaking, listening, and thinking, etc. And it has become a very potential for increasing the individual progress of the students. And as I told you in the beginning that there are various types of students sitting in the classroom. So each learner, each student has a unique learning style and a unique, I would say, requirement. So blended learning takes every type of learner into account, whether they prefer the familiar, I would say, traditional classroom, would rather learn online, or try a mix of both. So blended learning utilizes a variety of methodology, so the content can be customized to the learner's requirement and can be optimized for the subject matter. But you see, you have to remember that not all face-to-face teaching is easily translated to digital content, but it is possible to you see, re-engineer the existing content for online delivery in a way that complements the existing teaching. So blended learning may allow the teacher to spend less time giving lecture and more time meeting with students individually or in small groups to help them with specific concepts, skills, questions, or learning problems. Learning trends and feedback, because your e-content has got inbuilt practice task question followed by feedback. So that blended learning uses, you see, online and offline technologies. You see, for learners, blended learning offers a unique opportunity to discuss or to model, practice new skill. Another is that blended learning has also lowered the cost incurred on inviting some expert. You see, I'm delivering this lecture online through online mode. If I have to deliver face to face at Multani Modi College, Patiala, then Multani Mal Modi College has to bear the cost of my traveling and other comfort. So you have to spend more money. So blended learning reduces face-to-face teaching cost like travel, accommodation, or even printing material, because e-content soft copy is available. You need not give them the hard copy, and the material you see can be used again and again. So which also reduces teacher effort and time. So lower cost, fun and engagement. As I said that watching a video is a lot of fun, and the students have to read the material. So students are completely engaged in the teaching learning process. And reach and personalization. You see that global organization, as we know, that face the challenges of making learning universal. So language interpretation, travel, etc. can also be of concerns, both of which are easily addressed by blended e-learning that brings, uh, teaching to all the students, whether they are uh, uh, learning in another country or from some home. So there now some of the research studies on blended learning instruction, that blended learning results in improvement in student success and satisfaction, improvement in students sense of community. Blended learning was found to be effective in addressing diverse learning styles involving self-regulated and interpersonal learners. Blended learning provide learners with greater control over the pace of learning, instructional flow, selection of resources, and time management. Now let me share with you some of the blended learning models. You see, when you are teaching a diverse group, it is very difficult to tailor the learning experiences to suit the needs of every learner, isn't it? So a blended learning model can help you personalize your subject matter for time consideration, learning outcomes, even the personal preferences. So let us look at some of the blended learning models and see if they might work for you. Now, firstly, it is face-to-face. That is traditional teacher-led learning session supplemented with technology to allow students to control their own learning pace. Okay, this is a very convenient model of blended learning. That is, as UGC suggested, 40% to learn on an online mode and remaining 60% through an offline mode. So e-content, videos you have developed, you have given to the students in advance, maybe you have uploaded in the website of your institution. They can download, they can study at home, they can read the content again and again, they can watch the video again and again if they find any gap. So benefits are role play, mentoring, hands-on practice, and feedback. Second one is rotation. Students go from one learning activity to another learning activity, either in a structured learning session given by a teacher or online in a self-directed manner. So examples may include learning stations, laboratory. Flipped classroom comes under this rotation, where learners practice the lesson before attending to face-to-face teaching in the classroom. Another one is the flex learning. is a term that can be used, I think, interchangeably with personalized learning. So you can develop a learning management system, you can integrate it. This will help the students to control their learning path, choosing what they want to learn, and the teacher will be usually present, giving some coaching or mentoring, that is in giving answer to their question. Teacher has to be there. Another way to motivate students by letting them play. So you can prepare games based upon computer assisted instruction. So by using gameplay elements like points or levels, students feel a little competitive and are more motivated to experience the material on their own time. Online laboratory. This model of blended learning is entirely digital, with, I would say, little or no teacher interaction, and takes place either before the teaching, during the teaching, or after the teaching. And learners can access content on mobile phones, laptops, or tablets. And this modality engages and solidifies learning on the part of the students. Self-blended learning. It is supplemental content, either in the form of webinars, blogs, video tutorials that help self-motivated students go deeper into a subject. So as an institute, you can develop a robust learning management system that can combine diverse content sources under one system to encourage curiosity and growth on the part of the learners. Online driver. This is entirely self-directed and takes place in a digital environment. Here, learners can engage with the teacher through some chat, some email, or message board. So this model provides a flexible schedule and personalized learning, but it lacks the face-to-face interaction of other types of blended learning. And LMS is the best way to encourage the learners to direct their own learning while still monitoring their process as they enjoy media, etc. So now at the end, let me share with you how to implement blended learning. Firstly, because I said that you have to prepare its plan. It's a structured lesson. So you need to first of all formulate the blended learning goals in advance. What the students are going to achieve after exposure through blended learning. Combine online and face-to-face instruction. That is, you have to identify the content which is to be delivered through e-content or video, or you can identify video from YouTube, because in a YouTube channel, large number of videos on any topic ranging from 1 minute to 1.5 hours are available. So your effort is to identify the appropriate media for your topic, and face-to-face instruction. Then define the core learning outcome. Learning outcome, I think all of you are quite familiar. It is a sentence or statement which describes what the learner will be able to do at the end of a unit of instruction, and then specify how and when to use technology. And also you need to create learning activities that offer the best of both the worlds. Basically, there are some important components of blended learning. That is self-paced e-learning, face-to-face, mobile learning, social learning, blogs, online, WhatsApp group, discussion forum, or virtual classroom teaching. Now, let me share certain issues or challenges related to blended learning. Though blended learning approach appears to be master of all the teaching learning methods, but it is not an easy task to apply. This approach has its own pros and cons. There are a number of problems and challenges faced by the teacher as well as by the students while adopting it. So many research studies indicated that the major challenge of blended learning include time management on the part of learners, extra workload on the part of teacher, course design, personal barrier, etc. Let me share you a few issues. One is expensive digital resources. To use the technological resources, the institute have to increase their budget on procuring computer systems or other media, even learning management system, and even time to time maintenance of these digital resources is quite expensive. As such, not every institute can afford to apply this approach for their students. Inadequate training on the part of teacher as well as students. While using this approach, the teachers many times do not know about the basics of using it in real classroom situation. So therefore leading to disaster. So they resist the use of this technology in the classroom. And even students are not aware about, they have to make aware about the usefulness of this particular technology. Much focus is given to its implementation, and I would say less to its proper designing of the content. So designing part is very important. So all the elements must be well blended. Some of the online assessment or assignments are subjective in nature. So assignment designing is also a hectic process for the teacher, and sometimes subjectivity occurs in assessing the students. So to assess the progress of the student, assessment is needed to design, I would say, strategically as well as objectively. Lower motivation in the learner. You see, sometimes some students do not read the content in advance or watch video in advance, so they lag behind on the course. So this is another challenge for the teacher to handle on the ongoing course. So in blended learning model, the learner must be competent enough to handle the online content himself or herself. Here the teachers have to prepare both the ways, both that is online as well as offline content. So this has increased the workload on the part of teacher at the initial stage. I say initial stage, but the material or the video can be used again and again over the years. You can simply modify or update the material. So teacher who is opting for this mode has to go through some extra work, as I said, at the initial stage. Lack of human interaction. You see, unavailability of teacher during live online session, because the students are studying the material at home. So at that moment, interaction with the teacher and interaction with other peers is not available. So during the online learning, the learner cannot clarify the doubts without the assistance or presence of a teacher. So this lowers their motivation to learn. You see, these are some of the barriers, but these are some of the challenges, but these will not be the barriers to implement blended learning. You have to devise some method by which, because in today's context, every student has got mobile phone. If there are few students who are not possessing the mobile phone, you can make small groups where 2 or 3 students can can learn through one mobile. Now there are certain strategies and suggestions for gaining the benefits of blended learning. Let me share. Firstly, as I said, that working with blended learning approach is not an easy task. So a teacher must always get proper training beforehand. So proper training will help how to effectively integrate online with face-to-face teaching. And if the teacher is, if the material is well structured, the student can see the connection, and then they will be able to retain the knowledge for a longer period of time. There should be a proper balance between online and offline content. As I said, that blended learning is not online course. It is a blend of both. So there should be a proper balance. You have to, ये नहीं कि आपने जो है वो material develop कर दिया, today I am not in a mood, so you study in the classroom the material which is available online. No, the teacher has to, you see, encourage interaction in the classroom. Before, you see, implementing the original content in classroom, the teacher can start with an orientation to the students to avoid later problems. So student must be given some information regarding the learning outcomes, benefits of the approach, or websites to be used, or availability of resource material, or the schedule of the class, so that they get themselves familiarized with new approach before using it in real setting. Now, you see, not every student is familiar with the digital resources which are used in blended learning method. So it is the duty of the teacher to provide important tips regarding study and time management skills to the student. You have to study, you have to read the psychology of your students. Division of workload content. You see, e-content you have developed, you can present the content in smaller sections so that students can engage themselves in activities which require higher order thinking skills. As you know that Bloom's taxonomy has given 6 levels. At the lowest level is remembering, then comes understanding, applying, then analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So analyzing, evaluating, and creating are higher order thinking skills. So this means the content needs to be simplified and presented in an interactive language in small chunks, including in practice question followed by feedback, and e-content must also present the resources or the web links for additional learning by the student themselves. You can also employ some of the discussion strategies in the classroom so that the environment is interactive and productive. So there should be interactive and productive discussion between the teacher and the student, and classroom time must be spent for the content and discussion. Discussion strategies may include like web discussion, think, pair, share, show and tell, or even brainstorming also. So I think I must stop here now and open the session for any clarification or any or if you want to add something, supplement something, you are welcome.
So dear participant, now stage is for you people. You can ask any question to the resource person related to blended learning. Sir, few questions are in the chat box.
I have seen one
Lot
question.
of appreciation for your session. The question is from Dr. Rafizul Hussain.
What
What
the teachers have to do to motivate students for blended learning?
Yes,
Firstly, you have to orient the students. That is, you have to explain the procedure of adopting blended learning in the classroom. That is, I am giving you, I told you that flipped classroom is one model of blended learning. Either you can adopt this model, that is, the content can be given to the students, they can watch, they can study at home, and then the material, then the teacher can give supplementary material in the classroom. So motivation, you see, if the content is presented in small steps using interactive language with lot of illustrations and practice task question, feedback, and there are certain videos, because students love to watch video. मैंने आपको learning pyramid बताया था, जिसमें ये बताया था कि अगर टीचर सिर्फ बोलता ही है and students are simply hearing, only 10-20% of what they hear can be comprehended by them. So अगर टीचर मान लीजिए क्लासरूम में से लेक्चर को ही डिक्टेट कर रहा है और स्टूडेंट के साथ इवन आई कांटेक्ट भी एस्टेब्लिश नहीं कर रहा, सो मोटिवेशन तो खत्म होगी वहीं पर.
Any other question from the participant side?
I have one question is that I have mentioned about one data of survey by Guy's family. He says that I have some doubt about the year. So you see, I have taken it from literature. I have मैंने तो उसको अच्छे से देखा है. हाँ, ये प्रॉब्लम है रूरल एरिया में. वो these time the students are also facing the problem because internet is not available. That is true. So what the alternative strategy is, the teacher can give them the PDF copy or soft copy in their you see pen drive. Students can download in the school or college in their pen drive, and they can read the material or watch the video at home. This could be the solution. Problem of a poor network connectivity is there. I agree. So who will train the teachers if the institution doesn't provide it? There are a number of training institutions, like our institute is one, NCRT is one, and AICT is another. You see, AICT is offering number of programs for the teachers to develop e-content. This is a difficult or you say problem. This is a very good problem, that how we can ensure that all the students go through the content, video, etc. You see, initially they may not be reading the material, but you see, when they have to participate in the classroom, they may feel that had I studied the material earlier, I would have solved the problem in the classroom. So gradually the students are picking up the interest. ये जो last year से pandemic की वजह से बहुत बच्चों में ये चीज जो है वो डेवलप हो गई है to go for blended learning.
Sir, one another question.
Switch on camera possible नहीं है, क्योंकि वो बैंडविड्थ की प्रॉब्लम आती है. वो बच्चा जो है वो बोल देता है कि घर में कई बार नेट पुअर आता है. इवन हमारे इंस्टीट्यूशन में भी नेटवर्क कई बार जो है वो पुअर होता है. It is not the replacement of teacher. You see, it is another way to you see motivate the student. यानी टीचर को लेक्चर क्लासरूम में खत्म नहीं करना। लेक्चर तो वो बच्चा अपने आप देख लेगा, रीडिंग कर लेगा, अगर वो सिंपल लैंग्वेज में है। यहाँ पर यू हैव टू गिव लॉट ऑफ एग्जांपल, यू हैव टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस, you have to raise the doubts of this, you have to clarify the doubts of the students.
Sir, there is one question in the chat box: how to check the outcomes and honesty of a student in online class? The question is from Dr. Dhananjaya. Yes, sir, please, your answer.
How to check the honesty
And outcomes.
For outcome, you can give them the question paper on a you see Google form, and अब वही बात आ जाती है ना कि भी we will ask the student to turn on their camera. तो अब यहाँ पे तो रिस्की, मतलब रिस्की तो नहीं मैं कहूँगा, कुछ ऑनेस्टी तो नहीं होगी उनमें, प्रॉब्लम तो है। लेकिन उनको आपको ये भी गाइड करना है कि जब आपने लेटर स्टेज में फाइनल एग्जामिनेशन के लिए जाना है, देन यू हैव टू आंसर योरसेल्फ। अभी तो आप किसी की हेल्प ले लोगे आंसर देने के लिए, जैसे सेशनल टेस्ट हैं, दे कैन कॉपी द मटेरियल फ्रॉम समवेयर।
I think for the learning outcomes, sir, there are the number of efforts done by the MHRD, and the various alternative assessment techniques are nowadays available, which can be embedded in the various learning management system or on the online mode to assess the learning outcomes. I think participant can explore the opportunities in the alternative assessment forms. Any other question? Sir, one question is from Mr. AJ Majr Bohain. Most of the students of rural area are not aware of digital learning, also not interested about this type of learning. In such a situation, what steps can be taken? Sir, I think the participant is talking about the digital gap, the generation gap between the digitalized student and the non-digitalized students. So
but
your take.
Today's context, every student is now digital savvy. सभी के पास है सर, बहुत शायद बहुत रूरल और वेरी जो पुअर सोशियो इकोनॉमिक स्टेटस वाले बच्चे होंगे, दे माइट नॉट बी हैविंग मोबाइल एट होम। अभी तो सब लोग जो हैं वो काफी अवेयर हैं, बच्चे हमारे से आगे हैं।
Yes, sir. I think they are the generation born with technology, and we are the generation who is learning about technology. So they are more fast in accessing and operating these kind of technological gadgets. And sir, one question in the chat box is from Dr. Khushwinder Kumarji. The question is related to one participant who have said that how blended learning is not the replacement of the teacher. And sir has written clearly that no tool or no any innovative approach can replace the role of a teacher.
I have been telling in my lecture, there is no replacement. Teacher has to be there.
The role of teacher is changing. Otherwise, the content will be developed by the teacher.
The role of the teacher is now as a facilitator. Not his role is not to pour the information into the mind of the students. Okay, he has to give some examples. He has to clarify the doubts. You see, you can learn yourself from reading a textbook. Why teacher is needed? Because while reading a book, you get some gaps. So you want solution to those gaps, and this is the role of the teacher, to fill in those gaps.
I think, sir, whenever we are talking about Bloom's taxonomy, if we have to move to the remembering to the creation level, then we have to adopt the new ways. We cannot go with the traditional method. The recorded lesson can be given to the student, then a fruitful discussions can be held in the classroom. That is the main work in the blended learning. I think the concept note on USC website is also misunderstood by so many stakeholders about the blended learning.
Will you in the beginning, the teacher will resist to use this mode because they say, मुझे तो classroom में lecture दे दिया, मैं class के बाहर आ गया. Now here the role is changing. The role is changed. Now you have given the material. You are not dictating the notes. You have to prepare your lecture very well. यानी आपको जो assume करने हैं कि ये question student may throw upon you. So you have to think about those answers also. तो उनको आपने discussion में involve करना. तो teacher का जो role है ना, effort वो थोड़ा बढ़ गया है. तो थोड़ी initially they will resist to this type of this mode of learning.
Yes,
Foreign
sir.
country में यही होता है. Foreign country में the mode of teaching is seminar. At the beginning of the semester, the students are assigned the topics. They are given the the timetable that on this day this person will make a presentation. Now the person who has to make the presentation, he is not only that he only is preparing. No, other students are also preparing. The teacher will also prepare. Now on that day of seminar, one student will speak on the topic. The teacher will supplement where he finds some gaps. Other students will also participate. So the lecture and at the end, the teacher will administer one quiz and its evaluation is done there and then. Teachers are not giving lectures in very good universities.
Yes, sir. I think as you have said that the role of teacher is converting from an information dispenser to the reflective practitioner. The role of teacher is totally changing in yes, as a facilitator. So I think, sir, you have already responded to all the queries in the chat box put by the participant. It was a wonderful session, Professor Sunil ji. You have given a very beautiful presentation on the blended learning. I think after listening your thoughtful session and the last day keynote address by Dr. Jayashree Shinde, the many doubts about the blended learning may be removed in the minds of the participant. And now they can easily understand the blended learning and apply in their teaching learning process. No doubt, whenever the new innovation is in the field of education, there are some doubts in the minds of many participants. As the time passes, we learn different aspect, then the concept is very much clear in everyone's mind. So thank you very much, Professor Sunil ji, for your wonderful presentation and answer to the queries of the participant. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you very much.